Ladies and gentlemen, this one is going to be a fireside chat right now. The topic that's going to be discussed in the fireside chat is disruption in connected TV. This is going to be a session between Mr. Siddhartha Laik, who's the founder and editor-in-chief IWMBuzz Media Network, and he's going to be joined on stage by the one and only Anuj Gandhi, who's the founder and CEO of Streambox Media. So can I please request both of them on stage? And ladies and gentlemen, can I have some more appreciation for these two wonderful human beings as they join us over here on stage? Welcome Anuj sir, thank you. Welcome Siddhartha sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the last session before lunch, and I'm sure they're going to be keeping up the excitement alive. So over to you, sir, now.
Thank you, Subhajit, for the introduction, and thank you, everyone, for being a patient audience. The morning sessions have been very interesting, engaging, stalwarts coming and talking across interesting points that are prevalent today, relevant today. Anuj, sir, we are meeting, I think we are doing this after a long time. I think post-COVID, we are chatting business-like for the first time. I keep troubling you on and off.
Correct, correct.
For business and all other things. But thanks a lot for your time, sir. And it's always a privilege to speak to you. Sir, to begin करते हैं, Door TV के बारे में, sir, कुछ बताइए. I mean, the audience would love to know. It's a first subscription TV, if I'm not wrong. There are other questions also. But let's begin with Door.
So, Door is India's first subscription TV, like you said. I think little background on this is that I think the TV industry, hardware TV industry, had not seen any innovation after the connected TV, smart TV came about 7-8 years back. So we've been, like you said, post-COVID, you haven't met me, and we were working on our own ecosystem of developing a TV operating system. The fundamental premise was that people are, I think, have all grown up, whatever age group, right? Is that cable, DTH gave everything to you, right? So if you wanted to watch a movie, you always said, here is the EPG where 5 movie channels are there. I will pick a movie. You never picked a channel. What had happened in the last 7-8 years actually is that when OTT came in, each OTT thinks customer doesn't need anything else. I will give you everything, which is not true, because at family, especially in TV viewing, where there are 5 members watching, somebody will want a Princess Dairy, which will probably be on a Jio Hotstar, and somebody wants a Banda, which is on Z5, and somebody will watch a news channel on Aaj Tak or Z News or whatever, right? So what we built and we started building is an OS where we combined all content and we made content discovery and convenience as our core. And we are now giving 24 apps bundled in the price of the TV. So that's how Door TV came into being.
I think I was there at the launch of Door TV, and it's pretty revolutionizing in terms of the overall idea. You're giving a TV, you are giving, subsidized, if I can say, OTT connections. So how did the idea come from? I mean, you were brainstorming, you have a phenomenal team with you, Ramil sir, and everyone is part of your organization. So how did you feel, no, this is what next for me?
I think idea came from my background, largely been on the distribution and content monetization side. And when we were looking at, okay, let's do something interesting, something different. One core idea was how do we make consumer convenience and content discovery at its core, right? If you look at any current ecosystem of TV, not aggregation but TV, smart TVs for example, you can take any brand. What you get is apps. Right in front of your TV, it will open, it will give you some banners and it will give you apps. It is not giving you content, right? And I think that was our core, saying how do I change viewing habit? So after our launch, the kind of data we are getting is all content first. People are clicking content. People don't click apps if you give them the option. And I think that was our core belief that, which has now got, we have some numbers to show, yes, we believed in it. I think that was one. The other is also, don't look at only entertainment. And I think the other thing that we found that during our research and what we were doing, that there are three big pillars, and if you add gaming, that's the fourth pillar. People use large screen for entertainment, news and sports. And I think all these three pillars need their own real estate on TV, right? Which obviously when you're doing an operating system for global audiences, you are very focused on apps and you don't do anything. So we made India's first operating system which is focused on all these verticals. And again, convenience for consumer was our focus and we built it on it.
Wonderful. So good that you mentioned gaming. Abhik is here from Dentsu. We work very closely on the gaming awards that we do. Remember, we spoke about the association. So I know that your product, if I can mention, uses AI a lot in terms of the overall search, or machine learning is an important part of the overall product journey. Can you talk a little bit about how AI is helping you to build a better product?
So we are using, actually we were lucky because we started this project sometime in 22, and end of 22 is when, while people have been talking about AI, but it became a household name, and they were LLMs, they were things which were there which you could use in our operating system. So we used it for two very interesting ecosystem. One is for live news. So we have a tab on TV where every 30 seconds we convert speech to text on the go using AI thing. And what people watch, see what happens is when you are watching a news channel, it says on your EPG, news hour. But what people want to watch is news, exact what is being carried there. News hour is a 1 hour thing. So what we've created is a ecosystem where every 30 seconds, whatever is the news, it will tell you in a text form ki right now, whatever XYZ channel is carrying this news. But the more interesting part is how we've used AI for our search.
Precisely.
Right? And so it's called Ask Door now. We've gone really deep into, so if you search for, we have a knowledge graph now of almost 500,000 pieces of content. So when you search any movie or actor, the screen splits like a chat GPT. On the left hand side, the text comes, and we made it very intuitive. So if you search, for example, Tom Cruise, the next question could be, show me his favorite co-stars. And the TV
or his favorite
takes
movies,
it, and show me his best-selling movies. You don't even need to say Tom Cruise. Just because you said Tom Cruise and it's a language model, it takes
relatable searches also.
So we've used on both news as well as content discovery. It's been fabulous. We've got very, very good reviews of it, and it's been a journey. But for us, it's early days. There's a lot more AI thing that we will do as we go forward.
I think I've seen it in the launch. I think it's phenomenal. TV's big to rahi hai na sir, अच्छी खासी, मतलब sales तो अच्छी है ना? What do you think about your target of sales after the launch? Any learning?
TV ecosystem works in spikes, right? Right now, exam time.
No TV.
No, in exam and Ramzan, generally, if you see, everything falls. I have run cable companies, right? We used to have this period that this is the period where actual TV subscriptions fall. So obviously sales also. IPL will be our next big thing. So TV sales is seasonal. It goes through back. So we did a very good December and Jan. February was low. March will pick up when IPL comes. We had some traction during Champions Trophy, but IPL is a big thing.
So it's a competitive space, sir, right? Like smart TV business, and you are competing with larger players also. But you have micro-packs guys backing you up. So what's the equation between like Door, Micromax? Kya arrangement hai, and how are they bringing value to the overall product equity?
No, I think Micromax they backed us as an investor. So we also have Stride Ventures and Nikhil Kamath as our investors. So it's a similar arrangement. They're all three investors in the company. It's pretty much run by me and my team. So in that sense, there is no involvement. But of course, all of them bring their strengths to the table, right? So Micromax has a factory. They have a hardware background.
They have an experience, yeah.
Yeah, and similarly, Nikhil Kamath's team has a lot of content background. So we exchange a lot of views and take their inputs. But otherwise, they are pure investors.
Wonderful. So now that that's clear, of course, you have been a veteran in the overall content distribution monetization space. This is the TV summit. You have evolved into a new kind of, your professional journey after your India cast stint got over. So how have you seen the distribution picture changing over the years? I mean, you are someone who has shaped the contours of Indian television business. आपने क्या देखा है सर distribution में क्या changes हुए say in the next decade and what will happen in the coming decade?
No, I shouldn't say it. There may be distribution friends sitting here, but
Please bolo sir, please bolo.
I think the market is down, right? Every year we are losing. So at peak, we were at some 130 million pay TV users. Today it's about 90. That's a loss of 40 million in the last 5 years, right? Or 4 years actually. Around COVID we started losing, and then post-COVID. So which is not good because it's on a downward trend, right? So distribution business is challenging currently. And whatever, earlier debates you had, people have talked about TV versus digital, etc. There is a reality in the market, right? And which we all have to live with. And I like what distribution companies have done. They have moved, especially not so much on cable, but especially on DTH. They are now offering OTT, right? Because that's the way forward. You can't have a pure play distribution and think that customers will not churn. Customers have too many options today. My favorite thing in the last few years has been, if I take a poll in this room, how many hours are you spending on this device, your mobile, right? There will be people who will say 6, 7, 8 hours. Was Reed Hastings said famously, when somebody asked Reed, Netflix, who is your biggest competitor? And he said sleep, right?
Yes.
That is the reality, that we have only finite time. So if currently looks like pay TV and TV distribution is facing that heat from limited time that you have, because you're spending time on YouTube saying, why do I need TV?
So when you talk about connected TV, it's quite a buzzing hot term when it comes to the future of entertainment. Do you think it's true, or you feel it's pretty hyped at this point of time?
I just gave you some numbers, Sid, right? 130 has gone down to 90. Somewhere it has gone, right?
Yes.
Right? It could be people who've stopped watching TV. Yes, possible. It could be people who moved purely to a smart or a connected TV, disconnected their cable or DTH. It could be a telco bundle which converts a normal TV into smart TV, and you don't need cable or DTH, right? It could be a combination of all. I think way forward, all these three combinations will keep working. There will be people, youngsters who will leave. I am moving to a new house. In the past, it used to be an opportunity for cable or DTH to grow, right? I've just got married. I'm 30 years old. Now I'm moving into a new house. A guy will knock at your door. Today you may say, I don't need you, right? So there is no growth. He's going to say, I watch it on my laptop or on my mobile. I really don't need TV. And if I have a TV, I bought a new connected TV, or I've taken a Jio fiber connection. I don't need it. It could be combination of all. So we have to face that. That's the reality. Connected TV is here to stay in various ways and forms. And I think pay TV, if they do combinations, they will survive. Otherwise, they'll not survive this battle.
Absolutely. So when you talk about door, please tell us, like, what's the potential of door like? How do you see the growth journey in the 2-3 years, and how it's gonna disrupt the market? Disrupt बहुत बड़ी word हो जाती है, but your product is very, very interesting, and it definitely has got a lot of attention. So what is the growth journey of door?
So for us, actually, it's not the TV ecosystem, Sid. It's the OS. Yeah. It's the door OS which is the story, because as operating system plus subscription becomes a reality, where brands will say, okay, here is an opportunity that I don't sell a TV. It's a TV as a service, like a rental model. TV as a service, and it's a relationship with the customer in perpetuity. then I think that's the big disruptive story. And that's the story that, any brand can say, okay, Door OS is interesting, let's do thing. I don't think TV per se, Door TV per se is a big disruptive story. It's always the software, it's the content which makes the difference. It's not the form factor. Form factor tomorrow, my OS could be on a set-top box and we could be doing something. In fact, we've launched in Indonesia with the same form factor on a set-top box with a telco. So I think that is the big ecosystem that is what for us is more exciting than TV.
Phenomenal. So when we were talking about Door, researching on Door, there are some great reviews and there are a few not so good reviews. Of course, you're at a phase of experimentation. This is a new product in the market. What do you have to say to the naysayers or people who are saying that the product is not good enough? Anything you want to talk about it, sir?
No, I think whenever you launch a new category, or a new concept, there will be people who will not understand, and B, there will be, and like you said, it was a beta. They would be learning for us also probably one or two things we would have said, it will work, but it didn't work, right? So it was a combination of both. For us, it's a new category. People talked about it because people said, oh, you have to pay monthly subscription, right? While we may have called it out and said, but I think one of the things that we learned is that TV buying behavior is a very different behavior than subscribing to a Jio Fiber or a Tata Sky Play or a Airtel, right? We were in the middle of these two, correct? So that
you're catering to both the buckets.
We are catering to both the buckets, but available in a Flipkart TV listing, right? So but I think that is where becomes the big dissonance, because anybody who buys and says, "Arey, मैंने तो TV ले लिया, अभी मुझे और भी देना है," right? While we had called it out and all that. So I think over a period of time now in the new avatar, once we changed our pricing, I think people have settled down. We don't have any such thing. But yes, of course. And there is always, you remember, in any new category, if you have, backers, investors, people come with a lot of baggage. There is a lot past that comes
Absolutely,
in, right? So which is okay. I mean, I take this saying from a core product, right? Core product which we launched, hardware, software, picture quality, audio quality, everything worked well. My software worked. For me, those were all positives. The scheme, the category, yes, there was a challenge, right? Fine, that's something in our hands. We can always change, we can improve. If there was a problem on this side, then it would have been more fundamental. So we were okay.
There were primarily issues in the terms and conditions that were there, which I believe
has all been corrected.
Sir also, you have changed everything based on the feedback.
Correct.
That is great. Like you're willing to listen to whoever is trying to kind of connect with you.
I think the greatest learning in this set has been dealing with customers. I myself have spoken to direct customers, what's the pain point, how it is. And let's face it, because our pricing initially was very, very exciting, there is a large Bharat in this country, right? Which just took the TV for TV.
Who wants to maybe put a cable TV to
or
it
a DD free dish, right? I want to buy because it's such a cheap TV. Didn't realize that you have to pay a monthly thing. I mean, those we take in our stride because that's reality of the market. You can't fight the market. We've learned from them. We are now getting a scheme for them so that they can keep watching what they want to watch. So it's okay. We got a 15-18% such audience, but rest is happy enjoying what we are doing.
You're primarily targeting the Tier A Netflix watching audiences, or you're targeting the Bharat audience? Because whatever change you bring in the future, we'll look into it. But right now,
like I said, we want to give customer everything that he wants, and which includes Netflix. So, but Netflix takes time. We are engaged with them. It'll come.
That was my question, because a lot of people said that Door has all the subscriptions barring Netflix.
Yeah, everything. When you deal with such big global companies, they have their own, processes, and it takes time. So we are okay. In fact, consciously, that's why we didn't launch 55 and 65 inch. We said we will launch it whenever Netflix is available. So plan is on. We'll probably be there by July or something.
The UI of your design of Door, if you go to the website and overall, it's very similar to that of Netflix, the black and red. Is it something thought about well, because you think Netflix is the first thing you think when you talk about OTT, or no, it just came by? Because it's all black and red. I hope you get my question, yeah.
Yeah. So is Z News, yeah. I'm sure Z News has not done that, right? So I think it's, if you look at all the logos, right? Generally blue and red is a dominant color, right? And what we were looking at as door was a red, is what we wanted to go with. So there were, I mean, just happened that it was coincidental. There was no such plan, and they don't have a problem. So I don't want to raise a big issue.
Yes. And just we have 5 minutes more. Door basically means what? I know you have spoken in the launch, but if you can again tell to the audience and people who are watching, door means what? Yeah.
So we actually looked at almost, I mean, this was my first B2C experience, and we looked at many brands, almost 60, 70. What stuck with me for door was that when it came as a patang ki door. Then later it opens doors and everything else. But for me, it is this connection,
the
dhaga, the door, and for me it was a connection to the customer that will come for our product, and that became, and it stayed with me. So the door is actually just patang ki door. It's the connection between me and my customers. That's it.
Wonderful. So you have a lot of data churning also happening at your end. Since the launch in the last couple of months, what kind of behavior you are witnessing? So what are people watching more on your device? Any data that you see in terms of a percentage?
No, there is a lot of data, not the
top 2-3 categories maybe, or genres.
So I think one thing I will tell anybody who's into content: do good content, it works. That's the fundamental thing. So for example, even if I am throwing all content in your face on the TV, the movie of the day works and TV works. Not too sure about web series, numbers are smaller. And that I think is a traditional thing, because OTT web series have always been this thing. But movies, big movies, give you a lot of numbers. And TV content, if it is good, it still works.
The catch-up content you're talking about, say a Kapil Sharma or a Anupama. Tarak, yeah.
Right? So things like that still work. So because there is an audience which searches for them, and lot of repeat viewing for that. So good content will always work is the mantra.
Wonderful. Any final words, sir, before we sum it up?
No, I think thanks for inviting me today.
Thanks for coming, sir.
This is my first after the launch. But I think my learning from last 3 months of after launch clearly is that there is a huge market out there.
Absolutely.
People are willing to experiment with new things. But content is king. How you present the content, what you do with the content is actually going to define. And I think post our launch, there is one more OS which is launched. You will see a lot more activity on connected TV ecosystem in the next 3 to 5 years.
So अभी जो नया वाला TV निकलेगा sir, उसका कितना price होगा? I know you're changing anything that you showed in the past, or the 55-inch you're launching?
Guy like Sid will buy 65-inch. To ask me in June, I will tell you.
Tell me, by June you will tell me. With Netflix then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is Anuj sir for you. And thank you for your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anuj sir, for being with us over here. Give him a bigger round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, if I may request. And on that note, I'll request for the token of appreciation to be given to Mr. Siddhartha Laik. I request Mr. Siddhartha Laik to kindly give away the token of appreciation to Anuj sir over here. Ladies and gentlemen, calls for a bigger round of applause indeed once again. Thank you so much.